Once again, welcome to ITSE 2309. In this chapter, chapter 5, we're going to continue with that example where we had the doctor's office. Once again, in that previous chapter, we had the patient, we had the spouse, we had child 1, child 2, child 3, and we had the grandchild. Now, we were treating this as one event, but we were also treating that as a one-to-many event, where you had one patient, two, you had all these things, so you had a one-to-many scenario. Now, it's easy to understand that concept because it's very straightforward. But I want you guys to think about the extension to this item. In that, how do you manage a scenario where you have many one-to-many relationships? Okay, so now you're going to have, so this is family 1, you're going to have family 2. You're going to have the patient, you're going to have the spouse, child. Now in this scenario, we're going to say that there are no children. Or you can also have them where you just have the patient with no spouse. Now in this event, okay, this is going to be number 3. So here you have just the patient. So it's just basically a one-to-one type item. Okay? In this scenario, you have a one-to-many, but there's only 2. And here you have one-to-many because you have many children and grandchildren you have to deal with. So with that item, you have to start thinking in terms of groups or clusters type thing. And how do you manage groups that have one-to-many relationships or one-to-one relationships or just any type of relationship concept? And because of that, you have to kind of think about, okay, new terms. In this scenario, especially in this one, the children would inherit some unique identifiers. Okay? Last name, address. So there would be some items that are identifiers where they inherit information. So we're going to look at the idea of clusters with common identifiers, where some of these are passed from one to the other to the other. Now, for example, something that is passed would be the address, would be the account number. So even the grandchild will inherit the ID number from the grandparents. So we're going to look at new terms, new identifiers, where now you have to think a little bit more globally in that you have to consider this is one event. However, there are 3 events here. You have 1, 2, 3 events. This has a one-to-many relationship. This has a one-to-many, but there's only 2. This has a one-to-one relationship. So you have 3 different groups, and each of those has a different process that you have to deal with. So as you're developing the methodology on how you're going to structure this, there are also graphical representation that you have to deal with. And the graphical representation is one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. So, actually, this is the infinity sign. Sorry, it's not 8. So those are the 3 items that we'll be looking at in this process. So what we've done here is we've taken a premise. We have a one-to-many relationship. But now you also have to think about the fact that you're handling groups of one-to-many, groups of clusters, groups of one-to-one, beyond the fact that you just have a relational concept. And that concludes this module.